Hey, everybody, welcome back to Kensil Culture, the pop culture magazine, with our host, John Kensil, okay, and celebrating a little bit too soon. I'm the legendary Wid, and he's celebrating a little bit too soon for St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick, he drove all the snakes out of Ireland. You remember that, John,
Yes,
don't
I
you?
do. Yes, I do. I wasn't there when he did it, but yes, I do. Yes.
Yeah, well, why'd the snake cross the road?
Why did the snake cross the road?
To get to the other side.
I know a snake that was really poor.
Oh, he was poor? How poor was he?
He didn't have a pit to hiss in.
Kensil Culture. Puppets, props, puns, podcasts.
Sorry about those St. Patrick. And I'm gonna put on my.
You can't see that.
What is this?
It's
This ruins the whole thing. This is just a buckle on my head. I was supposed to be the cat in the hat.
Look at this.
I can't see the color green?
It's like
How can we
7-Eleven.
celebrate St. Patrick's Day without the color green? Look at. Oh my goodness!
It's empty.
It's empty. Yeah, that's something you wouldn't see on an Irish day.
Win and I are both Irish gentlemen, big Irish families. I'm one of 7 kids. And how many people in your family?
I had 7 kids in my family too, John. So 14 together.
One of each.
That's a baker's dozen plus one.
Where I am from in Northeast Philadelphia, they have a thing called the Erin Express. That's a school bus, and they drive it, and they hit every Irish bar.
We used to call it the Vomit Comet.
That's what it is. I know. I don't think they make it past the
Amateur
third bar.
night.
Oh, all they do is just get drunk. It's on Saturday, and every major city has this stuff. And it's funny because you see them in the parking lot making vomit angels instead of snow angels. But it's a big, very popular thing in Philadelphia and probably Chicago and New York and Boston.
Well, anywhere there's Irish pockets of. Do you know any of the old Irish songs like "The Men Behind the Wire" or "I've been a wild rover for many a year"?
No, the one called the Unicorn and the Unicorn and
John, they
the
would
long net goose and whatever.
They would drum you out of the Hiberians if they heard that was your favorite Irish song.
Oh, besides Danny Boy.
Holy mackerel.
Danny Boy, there's a...
That's like an Italian guy saying that, you know.
Pizza rolls.
No,
Oh, yeah, like shut up your face is his favorite Italian song.
Yeah. Unbelievable. It's like drinking cheap beer, okay?
There's a famous movie with John Wayne. He was an actor.
Yeah.
But he called the Quiet Man.
Yeah.
And they sang that song there. There was a wild colonial boy. Drink.
There was that, and it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more. And
I like the one. It's an Irish song. It goes Schlemiel, Schlemazel, Hoff and Steff Incorporated. We're gonna do it. Give us any chance, we'll take it. Give us any rule, we'll break it. Oh wait, that's a theme for some TV show.
What's a song that like a rap Irish song, like "We Won't Stand Up"?
What's the Everlast sings? Jump
get,
around. Another one.
Jump around. They go crazy. That's a new Irish melody.
And what's that other song he sings? What I like? No, the lead singer sings it. No, not. No, a woman. She was 16 years old. Na 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 na. What it's like. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm thinking Jump Around too.
Jump around.
The Boomtown Rats. I don't like Mondays.
Okay.
Another Irish. There's a band called U2.
Oh yeah.
Adam Clayton.
He was voted the number one
jackass.
Number one. Yeah. Bono was voted the number one singer of the last century.
Oh.
Okay.
Bono stands for Bono Vox, which means good voice in Gaelic. But it's weird too. They were gigantic. U2, I remember they were the biggest band in the world for 20 years, and now people they can't stand them. They're pretentious.
They came to their senses. Okay, they must have sobered up. Okay,
well,
that's like the Grateful Dead fans running out of pot. You know, that's what happens.
You know why it's so hot on stage at a Grateful Dead concert?
Who?
You know why it's so hot at a Grateful Dead concert?
Why is it so hot at a Grateful Dead concert?
Because none of their fans work.
Okay.
Anyway, but today's the drummer, Adam Clayton from U2's 65th birthday. 65. And there's a famous photograph of Bono that was taken right outside. What's our co-producer over here, J.C. Dobbs. It was a rock and roll club right by. U2 was here in like 1982, and there was like 10 people in the audience because it was a blizzard. It was a real iconic photograph.
Right on South Street?
Of Bono when he was younger. Yeah, it's a really good picture of him. I
know the Police played on South Street, and of course the other guys.
Can I ask you a question?
Stray Cats and things like that.
You have glasses.
Yeah.
There's a famous song from the 60s called South Street. Where do all the hippies meet?
By the Orlons.
Is that about Philadelphia, South Street?
Yeah, of course.
I thought maybe some other South Street in some other city.
That's the South Street anthem. I mean, every little block party they have on South Street, of course, they're going to play.
Did our friend work there? Work on that song, Billy Terrell? Did he work on that song?
No, I don't think Billy Terrell worked on that song.
But
he did a lot of. He's getting recognition because he did a lot of what that Northern soul. Okay.
Yeah.
That was very hip. That Amy Winehouse liked and everything.
Well, you got a red plaid shirt on today,
and a tie.
Oh, it's an airplane tie. Very nice.
Airplane tie. Yeah.
Today is Shemp Howard's birthday, right?
Thank God, right. Shemp Howard.
But,
all right.
Shemp was a member of the Three Stooges.
He was a brother.
Yes, he was a brother. Yes,
he was a brother to
right.
Moe and Curly.
Yeah. And he was the first of the Three Stooges. Then he quit. Then Curly took over for him. But
they started very young. These guys.
Oh yeah.
And there's new footage out of Shemp and Moe kibitzing at an outdoor pool in Brooklyn, and like before they became famous. I mean, and they're doing all sorts of pokes and punches and things like that.
My mom called me kibitzing one time, and she told me I'd go blind. But at 3rd and South, where's John's at? 4th and South?
3rd and South.
3rd and South. It's a famous, iconic place in Philadelphia because Larry from the Three Stooges was supposedly born there. Larry's the bald guy with the curly hair on the sides, and that photograph right there.
Larry Fine,
right?
yes.
Right. This
the only one that wasn't related.
Yes, right. And but the story was he was born and raised in that house, so they painted a giant mural 20 feet high of Larry Fine.
I was there for the opening of that, and Larry's sister was there. Larry's sister, if you know who Larry from the Three Stooges is, and you'd have to live in a cave to not know that.
Yes.
But his sister looked just like him. And
weird. I think I've told you before.
Hubba.
Her name was Helen Butnick, right? And I met her one time. Right,
Helen Butnick,
B-U-D Budnick, right?
Oh, I thought
and
you
she
said
lived on. She was originally from Nathal Street and Summerdale Avenue in Northeast Philadelphia. Larry had a brother named Mo, but it was short for Maurice, right? Maurice, not Mo. We all know Mo and Curly. Yeah. Anyway, they're not related. But one time when I was younger, I used to detail cars, and I was detailing cars, and a African-American gentleman pulls up in a Lincoln Town car and goes, "Yo, can you give this car a quick cleaning? I have some people in the car here going to a book signing." I go, "Oh, really?" And he goes, "Guess who's in the car for the book signing?" I go, "I don't know." And he pretended to poke me in the eyes. And I didn't know what that meant. It was like a gang symbol. Like, hey, man, we're the eye pokers from 36th Street, right?
I belong to the Stooges.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Hell Stooges.
Yeah, see that, right? But here in the car was Larry's brother and his sister, the one you said, Helen Budnick. And they were going to Roosevelt Mall because he wrote a book called Larry, the Stooge in the Middle. He wrote a book about his brother growing up in Philadelphia. And this all ties back in together. We're talking about earlier, St. Patty's Day and South Street and shit like that. But so they're in the car, and I met them. And you're right, his brother and her looked just like Larry with the round eyes.
It was scary,
right?
Yeah.
And
he actually was not born.
That's what I've got here.
Oh,
evidence
right here.
Evidence right here.
Lies. We've been dealt lies for years on South Street.
Yes.
Okay?
And it's a famous. There's a TV series called
right next door to John's is right next door to where the U2 played.
Yeah, J.C. Dobbs, the famous rock and roll
J.C.
club.
Dobbs.
There's a TV show called It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I think on the opening montage,
Yes.
you see the big billboard on the building of Larry Fine playing on the.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Well, some nerds. Imagine going this far, like being like that obsessed with the Three Stooges. They went back to the census in Philadelphia from 1902,
Wow.
right when Larry was born. And here he wasn't born in that house.
Right.
He was born down the street.
That's what I heard rumors a long time ago,
is
but
that
I
3rd
never
Street?
saw the building until I saw that.
Is that
Three Stooges Journal.
Is that 3rd Street? It's and now
Yes,
it's
it's also on 3rd
yeah,
Street. It's right next to the...
a thrift store, or it's a 1-story garage. You've seen it a million times. You really good
It's right next door to the restaurant Crybabies. Okay?
Yes.
On 3rd Street.
But some nerds went back and they got the census from back then. As Larry's dad was a jeweler, right? But it's very interesting. His dad was mentioned in the first census in, like, say, 1902. The second census, in, like, was it every 4 years? He wasn't in it. But the next census after that, he was in it. And here he found out Larry's dad went to jail. He was
a victim of circumstances.
That's right. He was dealt with stolen jewelry. So at the time of the census, he was and he was in the big house. But man, people actually went back and they found I'm looking at the photocopies of the census. It's just interesting that they're obsessed fans like this. And outside of Philadelphia, it's called Fort Washington, Pennsylvania. It's the second exit off the turnpike. There's a place called the Stoogeum. It's a Three Stooges museum.
The Stoogeum. Okay, they've made it.
It's really neat to go there. If you don't like the Stooges, because like women hate them because they're always like running saws across their heads and checking for hernias. But they what do you call it? It's very neat there to see it. It's just a history buff of movies. They have props and foreskins and everything they can with the Stooges. Neat place to visit.
Well, there must be a lot of memorabilia, from the Stooges. They did it for so long, and with every short, they had, they had a poster and they had, publicity and things like that.
Scripts and props and movie costumes. My friend, his wife lives in Northeast Philadelphia, and her next door neighbor is that woman, Larry's sister's grandson. And he looks like Larry too, but he's got a shaved head. And he goes, yeah, and he sounds like him too. He's like, yeah, that was my grandmother, great grandmother, something like that. But it was just very, very interesting. But it's St. Patrick's Day. It's a shame because St. Valentine's Day, heart and love and heart. Christmas is Jesus' birthday and love and presents and celebrate. But St. Patty's Day is getting drunk on telling we're doing, throwing up
on the vomit comet.
Yeah.
I did one of those once in Wilmington on a St. Patrick's Day, and I'm telling you, it started out, everybody was nice and everything, but by the time you got to the 6th bar, it was Barcelona. Okay, they were doubling over. They were. I used to go to the St. Patrick's Day parades in New York, and when we were kids, and they would celebrate so much that as kids, we would find cases of beer and, half bottles of whiskey and things like that. And then we'd gather it all, and then we'd sell it to the drunks that were, right there on Fifth Avenue.
That's interesting. That's my brother was in the mummers, but he also led a brigade in the St. Patrick's Day parade.
Well, you have a face only a mummer could love.
Not the first one to tell me that.
Sorry, I didn't cut that.
But last 1 year I got so drunk I took a bus home.
Okay.
And then the next day the driver came banging on my door. He wanted his bus back. And
he would arrest you, except.
On a co-podcast friend of ours, Ed McGonigal.
Right.
He had one of our Irish friends on last week, a guy named Mike Clemens.
He's as Irish as you get.
Yes, and
he's full of the Barney.
Yes, and he worked at the local bus company in Philadelphia. To our friends across the nation, it's called SEPTA, Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority. Right. Well, he drove a bus. He was hospitalized 7 times for getting stabbed and spit on. He had a coworker who went into the depot on Saturday when he was not working.
Yeah.
He took a bus home so he could move, right? And somebody saw him with sofas on a bus on a side street in a residential neighborhood, right? And he got fired. He's like, can you? And he's telling Mike, going, can you believe they fired me? All he did was take a bus off duty and take it down a side street where buses don't go down. And it had like barbells and sofas in it and a bed frames.
And SEPTA drivers, they really don't care about the fares anymore. They just let anybody who comes on, you know, and you just go, and a lot of them don't even do that. They don't even look at the bus driver in the eye. I thought that's like, you know, that's strange to me because you always grown up, respecting, you know, the bus driver. You know, he knows he's driving the bus.
He's a.
Now everybody's throwing him under the bus.
Oh my God! My friend Mike drove through the worst neighborhoods in Philadelphia, and he told me they made him take a second language. He had to learn Spanish because they'll pick a lot of predominantly Spanish people. But he said I had to learn how. He goes, I had to learn a thing called conversational Spanish when you drive a bus, like I can make change. Next stop's yours, and also please stop stabbing me. Sorry.
Stop that, John.
Yeah, but I think this is. Hey, Mr. Producer, we're doing this. This is our first segment. It's 15 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a quick hit, but thanks for coming back to our show. We'll do a lot more of these. I am John Kensil.
And I'm the legendary Wid. And hey, have a happy St. Patrick's Day.
And on the little thing here, hit subscribe and tell your friends about it, and ring that bell.
And sober St. Patrick's. No.